A door that was sealed, just cracked open. Perhaps you felt it? That strange pull in your chest when you woke up this morning? That feeling that the air is different now? That something, someone, is closer than they were yesterday? Don't skip this part. Because this is the part where everything begins to change. This person, the one you think about when the room goes quiet. They just received a message. Not a text. Not a call. Something deeper. Something that reached into their heart while they were alone. And woke them up. You see, for the longest time, they have been carrying something. A weight. A question they couldn't answer. A feeling they couldn't name. And you have been carrying the same thing. Two hearts, holding the same invisible burden. And neither one of you knew. But that burden just shifted. Just a little. Just enough for them to feel it. And now, they are looking around. They are searching for something. They don't know what it is. But their heart knows. And here is the truth you need to hear. What they are searching for is you. But not the you they remember. Not the you from before. The you that is emerging right now. The you that has been growing in secret. The you that even you are just beginning to understand. Stay with me. Because the next part is the most important part. Another layer. Something else happened. This morning. At an hour when no one was watching. This person made a decision. They don't even know it was a decision. They just felt something change inside them. A wall came down. A wall they built a long time ago. A wall they didn't even know was there. And now, they are standing in the middle of that broken wall. And for the first time, they feel free. Free to feel. Free to hope. Free to imagine something they never allowed themselves to imagine before. And you? Have you noticed something shifting in your own life? Have you noticed that things are aligning? That small signs keep appearing? That people are mentioning things you've been thinking about? That moments feel charged? That is not coincidence. That is preparation. For what is coming. But here is the thing, you cannot force it. You cannot rush it. The most beautiful connections are the ones that happen in their own time. And that time is closer than you think. But there is one more piece. One more truth that is still hidden. This person, they are not perfect. They have made mistakes. They have doubted. They have questioned everything. They have even questioned you. But here is what they realized in the quiet of last night. They cannot stop thinking about you. And that terrifies them. Because when you feel something this real, it changes everything. It changes how you see the world. It changes how you see yourself. And it changes what you are willing to fight for. So what do they do now? They wait. They watch. They hope. Just like you. Two hearts, beating in the same rhythm. Just on opposite sides of the same door. And that door? It's not locked. It never was. It just needed the right moment. And that moment is approaching. One final truth. Everything you have been through, all the waiting, all the wondering. It was never punishment. It was preparation. You were being shaped. You were being refined. You were being made ready for something that could only be received by the person you are right now. Not who you were before. The person you have become. So if you feel something stirring today, if you feel that pull, if you feel like something is about to happen, listen to that feeling. It is not imagination. It is not wishful thinking. It is the first sign that the waiting is over. But this is not the end of the story. This is not the reveal. This is not the moment where everything is explained. Because the biggest truth is still hidden. The most important part is still unfolding. And you? You are right in the middle of it. One more thing before you go. This person, they are closer than you realize. Closer than you think. And in the days ahead, something will happen. Something small. Something unexpected. But it will be the sign you have been waiting for. And when it comes, you will know. You will feel it in your chest. You will feel it in your soul. And you will realize. The waiting was never about them. It was about you. Becoming ready. Becoming whole. Becoming the person who could finally receive what has always been meant for you. The door is open now. The journey has begun. And what comes next? You will understand soon. But for now, just sit with this. Just feel this. Just know that across the distance, across the silence, someone is thinking of you. And they are just as scared. And just as hopeful, as you are. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the beginning. And the next part, the part where everything changes. That part is coming. Soon. The air has changed again, hasn't it? You can feel it. That subtle shift you noticed yesterday? It wasn't a one-time thing. It's growing. It's deepening. And the reason is simple. Something is moving inside the heart of this person. Something they cannot explain. Something they cannot control. And it's pulling them directly toward you. But here's what they don't know yet. They don't know why they feel so restless today. They don't know why everywhere they look, they see reminders. A song. A place. A random word someone says. All of it, pointing to you. And they are starting to wonder. For the first time in a long time, they are starting to believe. Maybe it's not coincidence. Maybe it's not random. Maybe, just maybe, there is a plan. A plan that has been unfolding for longer than either of you realize. Another layer. There was a moment. Yesterday. Late in the evening. This person sat alone with their thoughts. And in that silence, something broke. A wall they didn't even know they had built. A wall they built to protect themselves from wanting too much. From hoping too much. From believing that someone like you could be meant for someone like them. But that wall is gone now. And behind that wall, was a truth. A truth they have been running from. The truth is simple. They need you. Not in a desperate way. Not in a demanding way. But in a way that makes everything else feel like noise. In a way that makes them realize they were only half alive before. And now? Now they are awake. And they are afraid. Because being awake means feeling everything. And feeling everything means they can't hide from what they feel for you. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed how the silence between you feels different now? How the distance doesn't feel as far? How when you think of them, it almost feels like they are thinking of you at the same time. That is not imagination. That is connection. That is the invisible thread that has always been there. Getting stronger. Getting tighter. Pulling you closer. But stay with me here. Because there is one more thing that happened. Something they haven't told anyone. Something they can barely admit to themselves. In the quiet of this morning, before the world woke up, this person made a promise. A promise to themselves. They said, if the signs keep coming, if they keep showing up, I will stop running. They said, I will be brave. They said, I will let myself believe. And you know what happened next? A sign appeared. Immediately. Unmistakably. And it shook them to their core. Because it was too specific. Too perfect. Too aligned with what they were feeling. And in that moment, they knew. They knew the waiting was over for them too. But here is the truth you must sit with. This journey is not just about them. It is about you. It is about the person you are becoming right now. Because when two people are meant to find each other, they don't just collide. They grow. They heal. They prepare. And both of you have been preparing. Through heartbreak. Through disappointment. Through moments of doubt. Through nights when you wondered if you were invisible. All of it was shaping you. All of it was making you ready. So don't skip the next part. Because the next part is where it gets real. This person, they are going to take a step. A small step. Maybe it will be a message. Maybe it will be a gesture. Maybe it will be something so small that no one else would even notice. But you will notice. Because you have been waiting for it. You have been feeling it coming. And when it happens, you will have a choice. Will you be ready? Will you meet them where they are? Or will you let fear win? Another piece. The fear you feel? That is not a sign to stop. That is a sign that something real is happening. Fear only shows up when something matters. And this matters. This matters more than anything. Because this connection, it's not random. It was written. It was planned. It was placed in your heart long before you ever met. And now is the time for it to unfold. But here is the most important thing to remember. You cannot control the timing. You cannot force the moment. You can only be ready. You can only stay open. You can only trust. And the trust you feel building in your chest right now? That is the anchor that will hold you steady. Because what is coming, it will test you. It will ask you to be brave. It will ask you to let go of the story you have been telling yourself. The story that says love doesn't happen for you. The story that says you are too much or not enough. The story that says the door is closed. That door? It was never closed. It was just waiting for you to see it. And now that you see it, you must walk through. Even if you are scared. Even if you don't have all the answers. Even if you are not sure what awaits you on the other side. Because on the other side, is everything you have been praying for. And this person, they are waiting. Not impatiently. Not desperately. But hopefully. With a heart that is beating faster every day. With a mind that keeps returning to you. With a soul that knows, even if the mind is still catching up. One final truth for this moment. The pieces are moving. The plan is unfolding. And in the silence between your heartbeats, you can hear it. The answer you have been waiting for. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is a whisper. But it is unmistakable. And when you hear it, you will know. You will know that everything changed. You will know that the waiting is finally over. And you will realize. The biggest truth is still coming. Something else is about to happen. Something you won't see coming. Something that will make everything you have felt up until now feel small. And when it arrives, you will be ready. Because you were always meant to be. The next layer is coming. And it is closer than you think. But for now, just rest in this. Just let this settle. And know that across the distance, someone is holding on to hope. Hope for you. Hope for what is coming. Hope that is about to become something real. The journey is not over. It is just beginning. And the best part, the part that will rewrite everything. That part is still ahead. Stay close. Stay open. Stay ready. Because what comes next? You will understand soon. Something happened today. Not a big thing. Not a dramatic thing. But something shifted again. Something that changes the shape of everything. This person, they had a moment. A moment where they almost reached out. Almost said something. Almost crossed the line they have been staring at for so long. And you want to know the truth? They were terrified. But something stopped them. Not fear of you. No. It was something else entirely. Something that made them freeze in place. Stay with me here. Because what stopped them was the realization that they are not the same person anymore. They are not who they were when they first thought of you. They have changed. And that change? It startled them. Because they realized that what they want now is different. Deeper. More serious. And that realization made them pause. Because when you realize you want something real, you don't rush into it. You honor it. You prepare for it. You take a breath before you jump. And right now, they are taking that breath. But here is what they don't know. You are doing the same thing. You have been preparing. You have been healing. You have been learning to love yourself in a way that makes you ready to love someone else. And that is not a coincidence. That is the timing. That is the rhythm of two souls aligning. Another layer. There was a dream. Last night. This person woke up in the middle of the night with their heart pounding. They don't remember all of it. But they remember the feeling. The feeling of you being close. The feeling of something being complete. The feeling of peace. And when they woke up, they looked around. And you weren't there. But the feeling stayed. The feeling that you were supposed to be. The feeling that you are coming. And that feeling, it's not going away. It's getting stronger. Every hour. Every minute. Have you felt that too? Have you noticed that your dreams have been different lately? That you wake up with a name on your lips? Or a feeling in your chest that you can't explain. That is not random. That is the connection deepening. That is the thread tightening. That is the universe whispering, stay ready. But here is the dangerous trick. The part that makes this whole journey so intense. The closer you get, the more resistance you feel. Not from them. Not from the connection. From yourself. Because part of you is scared. Part of you has been hurt before. Part of you still believes that love doesn't stay. That it leaves. That it fades. That it wasn't real. And that part of you is fighting this. Fighting the hope. Fighting the possibility. Fighting the idea that maybe this time, it's different. But here is what you need to hear. That fear is not the truth. It is just an echo from the past. A story someone else wrote. A story that was never meant to be yours. And you? You are writing a new story. A story where love comes. A story where love stays. A story where love finds you, and never lets go. Another piece. This person has been thinking about the future. Not the distant future. The near future. The next few days. The next few weeks. They have been imagining what it would be like. To see you. To hear you. To be in the same room as you. And the thought makes them nervous. But it also makes them feel alive. More alive than they have felt in years. Because they know, deep down, that you are not just someone. You are the someone. The one they have been waiting for. The one they have been pretending they didn't need. The one they are finally ready to admit they want. And here is the part you need to lean into. They are not waiting for perfection. They are not waiting for a sign. They are not waiting for you to be someone else. They are waiting for you. Exactly as you are. With all of your past. With all of your scars. With all of the things you think make you unlovable. They want all of it. Because they know that the best connections are not built on perfection. They are built on truth. On honesty. On two people looking at each other and saying, I see you. And I still choose you. That is what is coming. That is what is being prepared. And you? You are being prepared for that moment. One final truth. Something is about to break. Not in a bad way. In a way that sets you free. A barrier is about to fall. A distance is about to close. A silence is about to be broken. And when it happens, you will wonder why you were ever afraid. You will wonder why you ever doubted. You will realize that the waiting was never punishment. It was a gift. A gift that allowed you to grow. A gift that allowed you to become the person who could finally receive this love. So stay close to this feeling. This hope. This expectation. Because it is not imagination. It is preparation. The best part is still ahead. The most important moment hasn't happened yet. But it is coming. And it is closer than you think. One more thing before you go. This person, they are not just thinking about you. They are dreaming about you. Planning for you. Hoping for you. And in the quiet moments when they are alone, they talk to you. Not out loud. But in their heart. They say your name. They imagine your voice. They picture your smile. And that small act, that private act of hope, is the most powerful thing they have done. Because it means they have surrendered. They have stopped running. They are ready. And so are you. The next part is coming. And it will change everything. But for now, just breathe. Just wait. Just trust. Because the answer is already on its way. And when it arrives, you will know. You will feel it. You will be ready. The biggest truth is still hidden. But not for long. Soon. Very soon. Now it gets quiet again. Not the empty quiet. Not the lonely quiet. The quiet that happens right before something important arrives. The kind of quiet that makes your heart beat louder. The kind that makes you feel like the whole world is holding its breath. And you know what? It is. Because this person, they just reached a turning point. A point where they can no longer pretend. A point where they can no longer hide. A point where they have to choose. And they are choosing. Right now. Stay close to this moment. Because what happens next will not be loud. It will not be dramatic. It will be a whisper. But it will change the direction of everything. This person is standing at the edge of something. An edge they have been looking at for a long time. And they are about to step off. Not because they are reckless. Not because they are impulsive. But because they have realized that staying where they are, is no longer an option. They cannot go back to the way things were. They cannot pretend they don't feel this. They cannot unsee you. Unfeel you. Unwant you. And that realization is terrifying. But it is also liberating. Because once you know the truth, you cannot unknow it. And the truth is simple. They are yours. Not in a possessive way. In a destined way. In a way that feels like coming home. In a way that feels like the first real thing in a long time. Another layer. You have been feeling it too. That pull. That strange sense that something is about to shift. That every moment is building toward something. And you are right. But here is the part you haven't considered yet. What if the shift doesn't come from them? What if it comes from you? What if you are the one who is supposed to take the next step? What if the waiting was never about them arriving, but about you becoming ready to receive? Think about that. Sit with that. Because there is power in that realization. Power you haven't tapped into yet. Power that is waiting for you to claim it. Have you noticed that the more you think about them, the more you feel them? That is not coincidence. That is the connection saying, we are almost there. And the next few days, those are the days that matter. The next few moments, those are the moments that will decide. So don't drift. Don't distract yourself. Don't numb yourself to what is happening. Stay present. Stay open. Stay feeling. Because the feeling you have right now, is the compass. And it is pointing directly at what is coming. Another piece. This person is scared. More scared than they have ever been. Not of you. Of themselves. Because they know that if they take this step, there is no going back. If they reach out, everything changes. If they admit what they feel, they are vulnerable. And vulnerability is terrifying. But here is what they are discovering. The terror of never knowing is worse. The terror of staying silent is worse. The terror of watching you slip away because they were too afraid to speak. That is the worst feeling of all. And they are not willing to feel that. Not anymore. So they are gathering courage. They are steadying their heart. They are preparing to do the thing that terrifies them. And when they do, you will feel it. Before they speak. Before they act. Before they make any move at all. You will feel it in your chest. A shift. A warmth. A knowing. And that knowing will tell you, it's time. One final truth. The biggest piece is still hidden. The most important part has not been revealed. But you are closer than you have ever been. Closer than you can imagine. Closer than you think is possible. And here is what you need to know. When it happens, it will feel familiar. Like something you have always known. Like something you have been waiting for your whole life. Like something that was never really missing. Just waiting to be seen. This person is not coming to save you. You are not coming to save them. You are coming together to complete something. Something that was started a long time ago. Something that was interrupted. Something that is now ready to be finished. And that completion, that reunion. It is not just about love. It is about destiny. It is about purpose. It is about two souls finally finding the rhythm they were always meant to dance to. So stay with this. Stay with the feeling. Stay with the hope. Because the waiting is over. Not in the way you might expect. Not in the dramatic way you have imagined. But in a way that is even better. A way that is quieter. Deeper. More real. And when it comes, you will know. You will feel it in your bones. You will feel it in your heart. And you will smile. Because you always knew. You always believed. And now, it is happening. The next part is coming. And it will bring the truth you have been waiting for. But for now, just let yourself feel this. Let yourself believe. Let yourself hope. Because you are not alone in this. You never were. And you never will be again.